You saw 2 days ago that I did Bones' new album, I Feel Like Dirt.
Okay.
And I just looked up to see if anyone else had reviewed it yet. There were 3 reviews in total. One was the first reaction/review, and it was over an hour long.
It was about Big Quint.
So, no, it was not. So I said, fuck that.
How's that not got taken down then?
I don't know.
Put him on blast right now. Get Sony Digital on them.
Another one was 3 minutes long.
Okay.
So, like, you can't really go into depth in 3 minutes, you know?
Yep.
And then there was the other one that was about 18 minutes. So I started watching that. It's by Mr. 2KGod.
All right.
And it is funny. He's a funny guy.
Shout out Mr. 2K.
He, I forget what he did at one point, but like he had it zooming in on his face in black and white, and he had a little audio recording of a young child singing, "Neighbours in my butthole, neighbours in my butthole."
Right.
Where's he found that? You know, he's just a funny guy.
Right.
So I went with that one. His intro is a parody of the Pornhub amateurs thing.
I don't know what that is.
You 100% do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Absolute classic noise, that one. So yeah, he's a funny guy. He's a swell guy. And where the fuck did my review just go?
How many views did 2KGod have?
I don't know. I've closed it now.
Oh.
I'll get it back up. It won't take very long at all. 2.7k.
Oh, good on
But
you.
I think he's got like 50k subs. Yeah, 51.7k subs.
Nice.
All right. So, this man likes Bones a lot, and it's quite obvious. So there is a little bit of bias straight away. I have mentioned this before as well. I think when I was doing something by Sean C, that like, because it was like a first reaction thing as well. I think with first reactions it'd be good if you made a separate video that was like a week later. Because if it's by an artist that you like, you're going to be hyped by it.
Yeah.
Like, it can be pretty trash. You're going to like it. So yeah, I feel like that would be a good idea to have like a week later. You know, let the album sort of ferment a little bit. But yeah, he's a pretty funny guy, just naturally. He knows a lot about music and music history. Like, he knows a lot of songs from like the 80s and 90s. This is all like taken from just this video as well. And he knows a lot of underground artists as well. He said the worst thing about this album is that he can tell Bones didn't spend a lot of time on it. Just making... he didn't spend a lot of time on it making it the best that he could. He brought up the fact that Bones consistently releases like 2 or 3 albums every single year. And he wishes he would take a break from doing that and just spend 1 year making one album.
Yep.
And it would be much higher quality, which I do agree with. He said the album all throughout was just a vibe, and there was a surprising amount of diversity in there, referring to when like a guitar started playing in the beat. I do agree with all of that. When Bones started singing in the auto-tune, he said that's the last thing he expected. I 100% agree on that as well. And he ended the review by saying that even though this was more filler than anything else, and he was just releasing music to try and stay relevant rather than taking his time with the music, he still left the album with 5 favourites. So that's, like, I think it's 14 tracks, so that's pretty decent.
It is.
And my thoughts on the review itself is that the content was very good. Like, it was, a naturally charismatic and funny guy who I enjoyed watching. There was enough diversity in the review itself. It wasn't just like the music and that's it.
Yep.
Like, it was pretty funny. He did have like a good amount of knowledge as well, and it like, I trust what he's saying.
Yep.
There was a lot of consistency with what he was saying as well. There weren't any like contradictions or anything. Mm-hmm. So where am I up to? Yeah, it was like coming from a knowledgeable source, and it was just like a entertaining review all throughout. But the editing was pretty crazy inconsistent. Like, he would announce track 9, and then a bit of text would come up saying track 10, and then track 9 would play.
Weird.
So that wasn't like a correction thing. And the text didn't come up for every track either. Like, there's only just a couple of them. This also could just be his editing style, but a lot of the time he would always cut off the last half of a word. So say he's like saying, okay, this is fire. What would make the final edit is, okay, this is fire. And then it's just cut into him saying something else.
Right.
And there was one point as well towards the end where just like a second, the screen was black. Like there wasn't any visual or anything. I don't really know what happened there.
Towards the end?
Yeah. For like half a second, there was just nothing. So ironically, I think what Mr. 2KGod needs to do is spend a little bit more time on his videos, making the edit more solid, more consistent, and on par with the content of the video, because the content is good.
There you go.
When he first came on, he put his foot up on the chair and had the camera like zoom in onto his underwear.
Right.
He was pantless.
Right.
That's funny.
You thought it was funny?
Yeah. And I don't expect any sort of special effects or anything super crazy in the editing. I know not everyone's like, you know, has the knowledge of how to do that and is capable of that. Like I know like iDubbbz and shit, they can do it, or like outsource it to be done by someone else. So I don't expect someone like Mr. 2KGod to be able to do that, but like at least be consistent with the editing. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about that.